Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chris, Why Would You Eat That? Eating Candy Wrong. Today, we're eating a Caramilk bar wrong. The Caramilk bar is sort of a classic candy shape. So as far as our classic candy bar shape, there's nothing sort of odd about it. But I think there's a certain way to eat it, and I'm going to try and not eat it that way. So let's see. Crack this open. I'm not sure. Caramilk bars, I don't know how common they are in the United States, but I'm sure there's like 100 bars like this in the United States. I think there's like 100 bars like this all over the world. So it's sort of your standard sort of grid of squares. In this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares and then 2 squares wide. So it's your sort of classic candy bar shape, and in each one of these squares is caramel. And I thought of all the sort of classic candy bar shapes, one filled with caramel is one you could really eat wrong, because if it was just filled with chocolate and you ate it the wrong way, I don't think it would be that big a difference. Like, I really don't think it's that big. It's wrong, probably. It's incorrect, but I don't think it would actually make a difference in the way it ate. Whereas I think the Caramilk bar, since it's filled with a gooey caramel, it's definitely going to tell me if eating it wrong is wrong, if it's more difficult. And so to explain, the way you would eat this right normally is you would break these little pieces apart and sort of eat it one square at a time, kind of little pop each square in your mouth, and so that way when you bit into it, the caramel would sort of pop out, sort of like an individual little caramel chocolate. In this case, I'm just going to eat it like a chocolate, like a bar, like a regular bar, like you should eat an O. Henry bar. If you check our past episodes, see me eating an O. Henry bar wrong. This is once again one of those treats that has a sort of format to eat it a particular way that isn't like a normal bar. So I'm going to eat a Caramilk bar wrong just by biting into it and see what happens. So let's see how messy this gets. It's as if the folks at Caramilk, the folks that make the Caramilk, the folks at Cadbury, knew I was going to do this, because what it seems they've done is they've actually sort of spaced each one to be about a bite-size bite. So when you bite, you eat two cubes, or I do. It fits perfectly in my mouth for 2 cubes. But I'm going to, I want to see if I can eat this wrong, because that's the point of this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a smaller bite and eat halfway between 2 of the cubes. So yeah. When you do that, it's definitely a little messier. You'll see on the back there's like a gob of caramel with a piece of chocolate stuck to it. So that does make it much messier. Now that I've done the half a cube, my next bite will land me in the middle of the next cube. So let's see how that goes. I want to take that little gob so it doesn't fall in my lap. I didn't quite make it. It's almost as if the ridges make my teeth go into the spot, and therefore just eat 2 exact cubes. But again, I'm not going to let the people at Cadbury get away with this. So I'm going to do a half bite again. Yeah, whenever I manage a half bite, it's much more difficult, but it's hard. You have to think about getting a half bite. Again, I'm going to try again doing a full bite, which should lead me halfway through the next set of cubes. See, the corners in particular sort of fall apart and are barely being held on by the caramel. This second to last bite should be the ultimate test to see whether or not this is a good idea or not. So, well, broke in the middle. It was okay. And if you eat it sort of normally, if you eat it specifically not to try and eat it wrong, you might be okay. Because if your teeth sort of land in between each cube, in between each square, you'll be fine. But it's this whole sort of, if you intentionally try and eat it poorly, like incorrectly, you are going to run into problems, and it's a little bit messier than it normally is. Taste-wise, though, it's pretty much the same. It's just maybe you'll end up with a bit more caramel on you instead of in you. And that's not good. So, you should try maybe, if anybody else out there wants to experiment with other cube and square type bars to see if they can eat it wrong in the same sort of way and what the results are like. But I figure this is probably one of the messiest bars to eat wrong in this format. And it is a little bit messy. It's not the end of the world, and the caramel seems to sort of hold together a little bit, but if it was hollow squares for whatever reason, if you just had a hollow square, it would have been horrible because there would have been chunks of chocolate all over the place. But this wasn't too bad. Well, thanks for watching another episode of Chris, Why Would You Eat That? Eating Candy Wrong. As always, you can follow us on Twitter @CandyCritic, or go to candycritic.org and find links to all of our other social media, including Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. You can also go to patreon.com/candycritic, and there you can support us, as well as get a whole bunch of extra content, including you get copies of the digital downloads for all of our micro comics snack facts. Also, depending on the tier, you could actually get physical copies sent to you. But if you're interested in our micro comic snack facts, you can also go to candycritic.org/snackfacts, and there you can buy copies of our. Right now, we're doing the digital copies, but we're gonna have physical copies at some point too. So make sure to keep an eye open for that. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.